Now, with that being said, we don't see the EOC. We don't see it beforehand. We don't create it. Okay. So with that being said, we need more. Okay, with that being said, though, this is my best guess at from each unit what's going to be on there. Now, all the stuff in the yellow are things that second period thought they would have trouble with. Okay. I want you to take a moment. I want you to read each unit. If you look at a word and you have no idea how you would go about solving that, then I want you to underline it on your paper. Okay, so again, on your paper, you're reading over those, okay? And I want you to underline the words that you have no idea how you would start that, okay? Do not highlight the entire page, okay? Read through and highlight the things that you, okay, so what were some words that you highlighted? Compound interest, okay? What else? What's up? That's it? We're only worried about compound interest? Radicals, okay? Anything else? Correlation, box and whisker. Okay, yep. Transformations, under which one? Unit 5. Okay. Anything else? Function notation. And behavior, domain and range. Okay. All right. Cool. All right, looking at this page, so flip over to the back. What this table is telling you is that there are 17 questions about equations. That's solving, that's graphing, all of that. Oh, I didn't print it off for some of you. Okay, some of you, it's on there. Some of you, it's not on there. Okay, so functions is 20 questions. And then stats is 9. So that's mean, median, mode, box and whisker, dot plot, comparing, contrasting, all that mess. There are 58 questions in total, and it is over 2 days. Okay, so it is Thursday and Friday. So there's 2 sections. You're taking 1 section each day. What I need you to do is take out your laptop and check your e-class page for your testing location. Go ahead and do that now. I don't care, take it out again, because he might have changed it. Who knows? And on your Google Classroom, what I have done is I have posted your EOC review key. So now you can check your work for that EOC review guide. Some of you have not looked at that EOC review guide in 3 weeks. That's a problem. Need to make sure that tonight you go over that. We're going to work through some of these problems today as well, so you're probably going to want to pull that out. Next thing, I put a practice test on here. This comes directly from the state. This comes directly from the state. So go ahead and click on that one. And I'll wait till you're all there. So go ahead and get here. So go to Google Classroom. Click on the practice test. You should be here. Okay. Now, once you're here, you're going to hit EOC study guide. Most of you are taking bio. So there's also a bio EOC study guide. I know you take bio. The EOC is on Monday, right? Yes. Confirm that for me. Okay. If you click on the algebra one, this looks like what your test is going to look like. They use that DRC Insight. Tomorrow, don't leave your laptop at home. Don't leave it in a random classroom. Don't leave your charger at home. If you do that, guess what? You're killing your own time. There's not going to be a retake. That's on you. So if you don't come prepared, that's going to be on you. So bring your stuff. Hit continue. Hit online study guide. Okay. These are the test directions. The proctor is going to read them to you tomorrow. You don't have to read them. You can just click through. Okay. There's a bunch of different tools that you can use. Okay. Up at the top, there is a cross off. There is a highlighter. There is a notepad. There is a zoom in. There's a line guide. There's a calculator. There's a scientific calculator. there is a graphing tool. The graphing tool looks like Desmos, okay? And then you've got these last two. The references page has the Algebra 1 formula sheet. Okay, so these are the only formulas that you can get. If you ask me for a formula that is not on this formula sheet, I'm going to say, I don't know. Okay, questions on that? Okay, yes, ma'am. It says EOC review up at the top of the paper. This is over linear functions. Okay, when you're complete with 1 through 5, if you go to the next screen, it tells you what the correct answer is. Please don't sit there and not do it and then just check your work, because that's not helping you, okay? Go ahead and try 1 through 5 on your screen now and check your work as you're going along. If you have your EOC review guide, some of these questions pertain to that. Number 2, okay, so it says the total area of 2 rectangles can be represented by this expression. Which expression represents the total area of the 2 rectangles? Let's say I blank. I have no idea what to do with this. I'm going to take the original problem and type it into Desmos exactly how I see it. We get this lovely graph. I'm going to take all 4 of my answer choices and type them into Desmos. You notice how this line is not the same as the green line? So that's not the answer. I'm going to type the next one in. Are those the same? No. I'm going to try to show you all the questions that are similar to this. This is almost the same. This one is almost the same. Did I type that in wrong? No. But let's say that you do remember it, in fact. Then what you're going to do is you're going to distribute. So you get 3x squared plus 3x. Distribute this guy. So you're going to get 2x squared plus 6x. Neither one of these should be it. There's a typo in here. So this should be 5x squared plus 9x. It should be this last one. It should be 9x. Am I crazy? Pretty sure that's right. It won't let me change it. That's okay. Okay. So you should be able to graph it, and this should be 9x. That's a typo. Why is this not plotting? Okay. Now, go ahead and go to the next one. On the next one, it says a quadratic expression is shown. Okay. And you need to write this out in factored form. A reminder, when you do factored form, you're going to take your a times c, which is -15, and b is -2. What 2 numbers can I multiply together to get me -15, but add together to get me -2? 3 and 5, and it's going to be -5, right? Now, since your a term is bigger than 1, you can use the slip and slide method, or you can put it in the box. I'm going to use the slip and slide method. I'm going to divide by 3 on both of these. This gives me a whole number, right? So this will give me x plus 1 as one of the answer choices. And then 3x minus 5, because we slip this to the top and slide that guy over. Okay, now to check this and make sure that I'm correct, I'm going to type the original problem. And then I'm going to type what I got. I'm messing something up. This should be overlapping. This should be the exact same. Why is this not working? Okay, so it should be 3x minus 5 and x plus 1. okay? They do kind of overlap, okay? I don't know why that's not working. Okay. Go ahead and go to 16. Go to 16. So here is the quadratic function. Okay. Yeah, babe. So what you're going to do here is it wants you to find the zeros. What's another way to say zeros? X-intercepts. So we're going to graph these. Where does it cross the x-axis? We're going to graph these, and it's going to be -5 and -3. If I want to write this out in factored form, I'm going to switch the sign and add an X in front of it. You should get B. Notice how I haven't had to do any math. All I've done is literally plugged it into Desmos. On the next one, it's asking about the minimum value. So you're putting this in vertex form. Okay. So what I'd like for you to do is type in the original equation, and I want you to type in these options and see which ones match up. Take a second, try that. Okay, so then you're going to type in all your answer choices. This is going to be x plus 4 squared minus 1. See how these two equations overlap? They're the exact same equation, so that'll be my answer. What is the minimum value for this guy? What's the minimum value? It's not 1. I'm sorry, -1. Yes. So -4 comma -1, the minimum value is going to be -1. Okay. On 17, it's asking about transformations. If we have 2x minus 9 and we want to shift it 2 units up, what are we going to do to this equation? We're going to add 2. What is that going to make this equation? So we have this equation. We want to shift it 2 units up. So we're adding 2. So what is this equation going to be? Can you simplify this equation at all? What can you add? -9 plus 2. What is that going to give me? Huh? What's -9 plus 2? So this is going to be 2x minus 7. Let's see. Okay, so rational and irrational. Irrational is anything that has a square root or it is pi. Rational is if you have a fraction or a whole number. Let's do this. Fraction or a whole number. So a whole number is just a solid number. We'll continue this when we is any fraction or a whole number. Okay. So if I have the square root of 5 plus 4 over 7, is that is irrational? Why? Why is that irrational? So first of all, is the square root of 5 rational or irrational? Okay, 4 over 7, is that rational or irrational? Rational. So which one of these says that a rational and irrational number added together? Okay, so it can't be this one, can't be that one. But the sum of an irrational number and a rational number is always going to be irrational because you've got that square root with it. Okay. Bless you. Looking at the next problem. What are the solutions of this quadratic equation? So what you're going to do is you're going to type this equation into Desmos and see where it crosses the x-axis and then see which one it matches up with the answer choices. So take okay, so you should have typed it in. Where does it cross the x-axis? 1,4 and -1.586. So these solutions are in radical form. Okay, there is not a plus minus button. Say it again. There is not a plus minus button. So when you type this in, you're going to say -3 plus the square root of 2 and then -3 minus the square root of 2. You notice how it's two separate answers. There is not a plus minus button. Do not ask where it is because there is not a plus minus button. Does everybody understand? Okay. Okay, so notice how I typed that in, and that's exactly what I see as the decimals for these two. So A would be your answer. I have to type the rest of them in. Does everybody understand that? I have not had to do any math. Desmos has done all for me. Okay. All right, looking at the next one. It's talking about percent of increase or decrease. When we're talking about percent increase and decrease, what type of function are we talking about? Linear, quadratic, or exponential? Linear, quadratic, or exponential? If I'm talking about percent increase. What is it? Nope. Exponential. Okay. So we're going to take our second number and divide it by our first number. Second number divided by our first number. When we do that, that's going to give us 1.1. This is what we call our growth factor. This is what we call our growth factor. Growth factor. So if we want to find our rate, we're going to subtract 1, and that's going to give us 0.1. How do I change that to a percentage? How do I change that to a percentage? 2 places to the right. So that's going to be 10%. What's going to happen is you're trying to figure out what the length and the width are. What is the formula for area for a rectangle? What? What's the formula for area for a rectangle? You got to know this. They don't give you the formula for this. Yep. What's the formula? Length times width. That's hot. So length times width. If we have our area as x squared plus 6x, okay, then I'm going to factor this. Okay, so how would I factor this? What do both of these things have in common? An x. So if I take x squared and divide it by x, I'm going to get x. If I take 6x and divide it by x, I'm going to get 6. So which one has a length of x and a width of x plus 6? That's A. 6x divided by x is 6. Okay, now the next question says, here's the area of a second rectangle. What is the sum of the area of the two rectangles? What does the word sum mean? Addition. So we're going to add x squared plus 7x plus 12 plus x squared plus 6x. When I add these together, I'm going to get 2x squared plus 13x plus 12. Okay. Number 28 is kind of a review of what we did yesterday. Okay. So everybody pay attention. This is the first problem that we've seen where we've actually interacted with this. Okay. We got a triangle. Which angle has a right angle? Which one looks like an L? Turn your head kind of sideways. Is it A, B, or C? A is the right angle. Okay, which means that this is the hypotenuse. This is the longest side. Okay, if you took that triangle and you turned it right side up, this is going to be your base, then this is going to be your height. So base is over here, height is over here. They want us to find the area of a triangle. What's the area of a triangle formula? Nope, that's Pythagorean theorem. Area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. You are expected to know this from back in middle school. Okay? So you got to have this one memorized. In order to find the length of AB and B or AC, you've got to use the distance formula. We talked about the distance formula yesterday, where we did x squared minus x1 squared, y2 minus y1 squared. Can you take a moment? Can you find the distance of AB and AC? AB and AC. Take a second. Okay, so when you solve these, you should have gotten something like 3 square root of 2 and 4 square root of 2. You might have gotten the decimal version. That's okay. Now, we're still not done with finding the area. You've got to plug it into the area formula, which is 1/2 times 3 square root of 2 times 4 square root of 2. You type that into your calculator, you're going to get B as your answer. Okay? For all the